This is another part of the Gospel of Jesus Christ that I would like to share with you. If you go to Matthew chapter 10, verse 32, you will read that Jesus said to us and advising us that if we confess Him before men, He will confess us before the Father. Now, Jesus the Christ was the Word of God that was made flesh. So if we speak about, write about, teach about the gospel of the Word of God, when we go to heaven, the Word of God that we have put in us will be our witness to the Father. And that level of the Word of God, the extent to which we learn it and the extent to which we confess it and teach it to others, will give us, so to speak, marks that will benefit us in the kingdom of heaven. And this might determine, as Jesus said, in my Father's house there are many mansions. I go to prepare a place for you. So, the Word of God will determine the place or the level or the room that we will live in the kingdom of heaven when we get there later on or at some point in time. Now remember, academics, education, fame and fortune, money, and all these things are not going to buy us or benefit us when we reach there, depending on the level of our understanding of the Word of God and how much we put it into practice. That will buy us a better level of accommodation in the kingdom of heaven. And he said, I did not come to bring peace. I came to bring a sword. I brought a sword. And he said, this sword will put mother against father, husband against wife, son against daughter. And if you love your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, your son, your daughter, before me, you are not worthy of me. So what he's saying is that the Word of God is like a sword. It cuts asunder. It separates one from the other. And that's a fact, because not everybody is going to be accepting, reading, and understanding the Word of God. And as such, that now will separate the sheep from the goat. Those who read the Word and know the Word and understand the Word and study the Word will be separated from those who don't, or who do it once in a while, off and on. So he said then that you should not love your mother, father, husband, wife, son, brother, sister, more than you love Him. So, you should put Him first. And to put Jesus first and God the Father, you must read the Word of God in the Gospel, and you must study it, and you must write it, and you must talk it. It's not good enough to just read it. Now, he said, a man's enemy is in his own household. And your household is your body, is your wiring system, and your mind. And your mind has 4 parts that makes up the mind, the soul, the heart, and divine mind, and ego mind. So you have to understand that the enemy, that is, all your wickedness, trials, tribulations, and persecutions, cares of the world, and deceitfulness of riches, in the form of thoughts that you put into your mind. So that's your enemy. The enemy is not outside of you. Remember he said in Matthew 2, fear not him that could kill the body and not the soul. So if somebody could kill your body and not your soul, they will damage you, and they could even take your life, but they haven't touched your soul. But you should fear him who could destroy your soul and body in hell. Now, the bandit can only kill your body but not your soul, so that he cannot destroy you in hell. He cannot send you to hell. But the one that destroys your soul by teaching you the wrong gospel and teaching you rituals, customs, habits, ceremonies, and good works alone, is one to be feared and one to avoid, because he is teaching you the carnal, physical aspect and not the true word of God. Right. So, do not bother with the physical world and the body as much as you do, but still take care of it, and remember that the bandit cannot send you to hell, but those who are not preaching the true word of God can pollute your soul, and as a result of that, your mind, soul, and heart will be polluted, and you will end up in hell. Now Jesus continued, if you save this life, you shall lose it. That is, if you live this life only acquiring material things and focusing heavily on material things and fame and fortune and those things, you shall lose the spiritual life. And if you lose this physical life, you shall save it. Good. So, you got to consider that if you're doing it for Jesus Christ's sake, if you give up the physical carnal life and accept the spiritual life as dictated to by Jesus Christ, you will save the spiritual life. So, and he said, if you receive them, you receive me. Those messengers that I have sent. And if you receive them, you receive me. And you receive him that sent me, which is God. Now he said, if you don't take up your cross and follow me, you are not worthy of me. And your cross is the word of God and the kingdom of heaven. And if you receive a prophet's reward, and receive a prophet in a prophet's name, you will receive a prophet's reward. To receive a prophet is to get like the prophet, understand like the prophet, raise your level of consciousness like the prophet, and think like the prophet. And if you do, you'll get a prophet's reward. And likewise, with a wise man, you'll also get a wise man's reward if you think like a wise man and work on becoming a wise man. So, I invite you to read chapter 10, verse 32.